This video is brought to you by one of our shirts for the day. I was gonna be a liberal for Halloween, but my head wouldn't fit up my ass. There's a $5 off promo code for you for every shirt in the store. Remember when ESPN fired legendary MLB pitcher Curt Schilling for sharing this meme from Autumn Williams to his private Facebook account about the basic functionality and concept of men's and women's restrooms? After reviewing the post, ESPN released a statement saying, "ESPN is an inclusive company. Curt Schilling has been advised that his conduct was unacceptable and his employment with ESPN has been terminated." In other words, we're inclusive, but we're not inclusive enough to include people within our company that hold and voice opinions we don't agree with, which automatically makes them non-inclusive, right? God, this is so confusing. Schilling's post was accompanied by his own comment, which just happens to line up with logic and truth. And people got butthurt about it. Go figure. He simply said, "A man is a man no matter what they call themselves. I don't care what they are, who they sleep with. Men's room was designed for the penis. Women's, not so much. Now you need laws telling us differently? Pathetic." But that was just too egregious for ESPN. So sayonara, Curt. You can't be included in our super inclusive club. This is libtard idiocy. Now we have ESPN's Robert Lee issue. And the true tragedy of the Robert Lee ESPN story is being missed. What a powerful symbol of progress, diversity, and inclusion this could have been. This week, ESPN pulled off the Triple Lindy version of stepping on your own Johnson. It decided that appeasing a few social media trolls, even though they claim that that's not what it was about, mattered more than a powerful and meaningful symbol of diversity. Oh yeah, and inclusion. Instead, what was once the #1 cable channel, regardless of format, continued its descent into the mouth of social justice warrior madness as it removed an announcer from an upcoming football broadcast at the University of Virginia because his name is Robert Lee. Not Robert E. Lee, mind you, but Robert Lee. Oh, and did I mention that this Robert Lee is a millennial Asian? Not exactly a chip off the old Confederate block. His parents weren't even alive to see Appomattox. And he's not even old enough to have watched The Blue and the Gray when it first came out. But that didn't stop Reuters from originally claiming that he was named after the man who surrendered the South. But since I can only slam one manifestation of stupidity at a time, back to ESPN. In the wake of the deadly and arguably staged race riots in Charlottesville, ESPN said it made the asinine decision to take Lee off the broadcast because it feared, in the words of ESPN President John Skipper, social media hectoring and trolling. And to think, if ESPN truly feared those lethal online memes and Putin's brigade of Twitter bots, all it had to do was ask the online inquisition at CNN to open a can of digital whoop-ass on those keyboard commandos. But alas, that's not the road they chose. And let's be honest here. The backlash against ESPN's decision demonstrated the network was indeed in a no-win situation regarding Robert Lee. Either subject themselves and their announcer to becoming targets of derision, or reassign Lee and stand accused of pandering to idiots who might take offense at his name. And while CNN's victim card-pulling Roxanne Jones applauded ESPN's decision as the right move, it can be logically argued that no decision would have been the best decision. Besides, doesn't common sense tell you that quivering like a scared child is not an adult answer to the mere possibility that there might be a monster under your bed ready to grab your ankles? God, do we even have to quote Sticks and Stones? That brings us to the cruel irony here, which has been missed by the very progressive utopian zealots who regularly justify using a sports network as a tool of the people's revolution. The progressives at ESPN are so drunk on political correctness, even while they say they aren't, that they missed a real opportunity to champion the very diversity they claim as their mission. I mean, what a powerful symbol of progress and diversity it would have been to have an Asian face named Robert Lee announcing a game on a campus that was just ablaze with racial strife and conflict. That's exactly the statement and symbolism the nation needs right now. And that's the message that a liberal mindset of not very long ago would have gladly jumped on in order to seize the day's moral high ground. Hey ESPN, meritocracy triumphs over aggression. God-given talent triumphs over tyranny. And embracing the grand irony of a statistically improbable and precise name popping up in the exact location of the very epicenter of recent racial tensions would have been the icing on a priceless cake. The melting pot wins. But this isn't your father's liberalism. This is its cancerous and idolatrous progressive progeny that thinks the melting pot is for literally Hitler. In progressivism, there is no victory, only victimology. And according to the ESPN brass, Lee himself played the victim card like any true millennial snowflake would. He could have been the one to say, "Hey guys, don't worry, I got this. Names, insults, and jokes don't break bones." And oh, by the way, don't you think you're turning a non-problem into the very joke you insist you're trying to avoid? But that wasn't Lee's response. Instead, he embraced the spirit of the safe space triggered snowflake age. And you know what? It worked. Lee's name ID has greatly increased. And ESPN actually rewarded him with a better game. Pittsburgh and Youngstown State are both better teams than UVA or William and Mary.
Steve Kornacki, the irony here is it wasn't an issue for anyone until the statement went out, until that decision was made.
Yeah, and I'm trying to even imagine the scenario where it's kickoff time in Charlottesville and there's Robert Lee, looks like about a 30-year-old sportscaster who clearly wasn't alive during the Civil War, is in the booth, and anybody has any objection to that. There was this tweet last night. There's actually an anchor also at the ESPN named Bob Lee.
Yeah,
spells it L-E-Y. He's been there for a long time. He tweeted last night when this broke. He said, "Rather worried my employee ID pass may not admit me in the AM. Life as scripted by The Onion."
I read this story last night, Gene, and we often say not The Onion as a joke for an absurd story. I actually thought it was an Onion story because it went so far. I guess this is the logical outcome of the culture we've created.
Actually, it's not logical at all.
Well,
it's
not
crazy.
Logical. Maybe it's just the outcome.
No, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is why Donald Trump has that 33%. I just think this is really dumb.
It is really dumb. I just want to say in full disclosure, I have family members, including my sister, who work there, my brother-in-law, good friends. None of them had anything to do with this decision.
And come to think of it, maybe that makes those of us who still tenaciously cling to antiquated notions like integrity, honor, courage of conviction, and self-awareness the schmucks after all. In the final analysis, it looks like ESPN's claims that they were trying to avoid prompting public ridicule rather than public offense just ended up subjecting the network to the very mocking they had hoped to head off. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments below. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with others. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and notification button and you'll be alerted when I upload new videos. Today's shirts for the day are Truth, the new hate speech, Truth is treason in the empire of lies, and McDeath's, eat fast, die young. Your $5 off promo code is in a link in the description for you for every shirt in the store. Don't forget to leave your thoughts for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. I'll see you guys in the next video.